Happy Sunday. Thanks for coming. So today we're going to talk about how best to use AI in your sales workflows. And I know you're saying to yourself, Jordan, no one talks about AI. Why are you talking about AI? I don't hear about it at all. But I have a very specific opinion of AI that you probably don't hear often, which is I think what you need to figure out how to do is something I call constrained creativity. This is what you want the machine to do for you, and it can be creative if you constrain it. And I have a pretty strong opinion about how you should build these AI workflows, and it's backwards, which is start with the problem, right? If a human could send a perfect email, what would that perfect email be? Figure out the data that you need to send that perfect email, and then figure out how you can get ChatGPT to drastically reduce the cost of sending that email. I do not do the other way around, which is I've got no idea who I should contact or what I should say to them. ChatGPT, can you do my prospecting for me? No, that's it doesn't do a good job at that because, of course, why would it, right? If you don't know the output that you expect, why would you expect the computer to be I got this, right? It's kind of like the most confident, worst co-pilot ever, and you're flying and that the co-pilot has never flown a plane before. You don't give them any instructions. You're here, you take of course it's going to dive bomb. All right, so let's actually dive into the problem I was trying to solve and how I went about solving that problem. Before we get into that, I'm going to give you some context. So I'm about to launch my product in 2 or so months. I need feedback on pricing and packaging. So I'm contacting chief revenue officers, chief marketing officers, heads of sales, VPs of sales to ask for feedback on pricing and packaging. That's all I want. I don't want to sell them anything. I just want to get their thoughts so I can figure out how I should charge this thing. How do they see value? That kind of thing. And what my product does, for those of you that may not know, is that we're monitoring over 50,000 companies every single day for their posted jobs. And then we can allow you to run an AI search on top of that data and sort all those companies and all their 3 million jobs by who has the most pressing version of the problem that you solve now. So that's what the product does. So I wrote a shell of a copy, and then inside the copy, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give people an example of a query that my system could execute on that's relevant to their titles, the problems that would exist inside of their titles, so they can see sort of if you could run this naturalized Google search on all of your market and get back just the folks that had the best fit. Is that something that I can give you the top 30 results for free? So let's dive into the copy because no one ever shows copy. I don't know why, but people don't show real copy. And then I'm going to walk you through the prompts. I got a strike on YouTube, which was I almost got a strike on YouTube because I included personal information of people in these videos in my prospecting list. So I'm just going to show you the prompts. You won't actually see the people I'm prospecting to. Let's dive in. All right. So 30 for 30, picture this. You get the top 30 accounts from these example searches that are only on recent company job postings in your market. No cash, but is 30 minutes of your time a fair price? I just need your feedback on my pricing and packaging. Queries. What do you say? My offer is good for May 8th only. Once slots are gone, I turn into a pumpkin. And then I had GPT-4 edit this. The one and only Jordan Crawford. It wrote that for me. I'm that's some bullshit that I probably would say. So then we got this research thing and and it wrote this too. Let's conquer the age-old sales conundrum together. How do I find who I should target now? That's kind of my value prop. And then meow, 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 other stuff, boring. It's just a follow-up. All right, let's get into Clay and tell you how I did this. So in this case, I had a conversation with ChatGPT. Let me move my big fat head out of here. All right, so what I did is I said I wanted to have 4 back and forth with ChatGPT. The first is context, the system the role is playing. You are the VP of sales at company. Your website is domain. You are in the industry, and these are all variables from Clay. You're an absolute expert in markets. You understand customers better than anyone else inside or outside the company. You are deeply familiar with the jobs to be done framework as outlined by Clayton Christensen. I hope I spelled his name right. That would be embarrassing if I didn't. Okay, great. So it's give some context. Now, this is the description of B2B SaaS company you work for. Tell me what top 3 job titles you might find indications of the pain that companies might be facing before implementing this company's product or solutions. And this is the company's description. Okay, great. Now I'm giving the system a role again. these ideal titles, I want you to pretend to be their ideal prospects, right? So now I'm asking it to impersonate the people they sell to. Use impersonate each of the job roles above and be the world's expert. I don't know. I always like to write that. Like world's expert. I think it's just fun. I don't know if it really helps. Okay. Now, how crazy is this? Look at this. Now focus on keywords that you have found in the past that might exist in each of these jobs, the types of job descriptions. Now assume that you have access to the world's smartest search engine that only searches jobs. It works in natural language and only needs several perfectly articulate sentences to find the right jobs that might be struggling with the problems this company solves. Now write up to 3 distinct queries, one for each job title that you identified, that would surface all the top fit jobs that mention this problem that this company could solve. Only respond with the actual search and number your searches like this. So you can see here very, very specific. And also you can see in these responses how it does have variation. Find job listings, search for job descriptions, show me job descriptions for. I kind of just left that. And I did look as I sort of scrolled through this. There's some where it, let's run this for all rows that have errors. So there's some that it's like silly, and I might have to like the fact that it put it in quotes is like a little bit obnoxious, but it's fine. Like, oh, for example, here, based on the company description provided, it's clear that blah, blah, blah. So it wrote this other stuff, which is, I need to like basically provide it more constrained creativity. So if I did this again, I would probably run another prompt that has examples. So in this case, I'm actually just going to delete this. So this is where I would go through and just kind of look at these and make sure this all kind of looks right. Let's actually dive into one of the examples. So I can't scroll over because if I do that, YouTube's going to hate me. But basically, this company sells to marketing directors, event managers, and digital strategy executives, right? With responsibility for organizing and hosting digital events such as webinars, client summits, workshop, product launches, and conferences, and specifically mentioned challenges of measuring ROI, lead qualification, or creating engaging event experiences, right? So you can kind of see how this is really specific to the titles they target and the problems that exist inside their job descriptions. So that's where this queries section exists. So you're going to be able to actually see the queries that I would run for your company. Now, all I did was take the company description and GPT-4, I said, be as creative as possible, be a maverick, be the Leonardo da Vinci of ideas here. And this is how you can use constrained creativity to have the system build you something that is creative, that's novel to each company, is about problems, and is trained on very basic information. You don't need a lot of context to be able to do this. So this is how I think you should be using AI in sales, and I think you should invert your thinking and come about this from the reverse, which is what is the very best perfect email that I could write, and then think about how do I create a process in just one session with ChatGPT. You don't need to do it scale like I did. You just have to do it once with the perfect inputs, which are, is it their job descriptions? Is it their company website content? Is it their company description? Is it something on their LinkedIn? And then you need to break down the process to write that email with AI. So that might be filtering 3 or 4 layers against the context that you provided it and say, is this person doing this in their LinkedIn description? If they are, then say yes. If you said yes, then do this. And if you do this, then be creative, right? So that's the type of workflow, and that's how you should think about prospecting with AI in sales. And so come at me with an example of a great email that you send that is very relevant to the company. I guess you can give me it's relevant to the person, but ensure it's relevant, right? I don't want like go Bears, right? That's a rules-based thing. You don't need any creativity to talk about your school. So thanks so much for watching, for coming here and, spending, almost 10 minutes of your time. That's like a full coffee to learn about how I'm thinking about AI in sales. And if you got an AI in sales question, I'm speaking at an event in a couple of weeks to chat about my workflows. And so I would love to incorporate a challenge that you have integrating AI in your workflows, and maybe I can help you think about how to build it. Thanks for watching, and have an absolutely wonderful start to your week. I'm so grateful for you. Adios.